Hi guys, this is part 2 of the birth control series. In last week's video I talked to you about the health dangers of birth control pills, and in today's video I'm going to tell you all about my experience with birth control pills, how long I took it, what happened to me, why I started it, why I stopped it, and things like that. So let's jump right in. So I started taking the birth control pill when I was 19, and I didn't really need it for birth control purposes, but I was really sick and tired of my period that was actually really long and very painful. So my last drop of patience was when I was 19 and I was about to go to university, to my English class I think, and I was on the bus and I had such bad period cramps that I nearly passed out on the bus. So I had to get out of the bus, go to the pharmacy to buy some painkillers, and I missed my class, and that's when I really understood that I had to do something. It was a totally wrong idea, but that's what I decided to do. And I started taking birth control pills. For the first time in my life, I started having normal periods. It was like a dream come true for me. I didn't have any cramps for the first time. My periods were not heavy. And my doctor also said that I would probably get better skin, so it would help my acne, which it didn't do. Before going on the birth control pills, I was anemic for a few years. Pretty much from the first day I had my periods, and when I started taking the birth control pills I didn't need any more iron, and so I wasn't anemic anymore. I felt so much more energy, and so for me again it was like a dream come true. I couldn't believe how good my life suddenly was. I didn't tell my mom that I started taking birth control pills for two reasons. One, because she was very much against unnecessary medications, and two, because I didn't want her to think that I was having sex, because the truth is I wasn't, but I didn't know if she would believe it. When she found out accidentally, she went mad because she had an estrogen dominant breast cancer due to the hormonal replacement therapy that she was prescribed, and so she was very upset with me, and she was very scared for my health in the future. I was often terrified, thinking about one day when I would like to get pregnant and I would have to come off the pills, and I kept reading on all kinds of forums and hearing stories from other people about all these women coming off the pills and having horrible acne, and then getting pregnant and having even more horrible acne. And so I lived with this fear of one day having to come off the pills. So I started taking the pill when I was 19, and then when I was 28 I came off the pill for almost a year because I was getting more and more interested in a healthy lifestyle, and I was getting more and more conscious about my health choices, and so I decided to come off them. But I remember I was so scared to do that. But I really wasn't happy about stuffing myself with a chemical drug every single day when it wasn't really necessary, and so I knew I had to conquer my fears and stop it. The reasons for that is that with each passing year I could see that my libido was getting lower and lower, and as if I was getting more numb to the world, to the feelings, to the emotions, to the touch. It's like I was growing some kind of a shell or something like that. As if I was losing any kind of interest in life and any kind of enjoyment of life, and I was slowly sinking into depression for the first time in my life. So I started getting physical symptoms as well. My skin and my acne were getting worse and worse every single year. My overall health was deteriorating. My periods were getting heavier and more painful, so it was kind of reverting back to how it was before I went on the pill. And also I lost any kind of interest in my career, and then one day I just quit everything, and everything was just, I was losing everything, literally. So when I went off the pill that first time, the rebalancing was actually pretty quick and quite effortless, I remember. So as soon as I went off it, the next month I got a normal period, everything was fine. But then a few months later the periods became really heavy and really painful, just like before I went on the pill when I was a teenager. And at that time I didn't really use any kind of herbs or any kind of supplements to help myself to rebalance myself, but I still remember everything went quite well. But then after a few months I started feeling anemic again. I started feeling really tired and weak and fatigued, and my hair started falling more, and I kept getting these horrible whiteheads all over my face. And then I went back to my gynecologist and I told her that I wanted to go back on the pill. One, because I wasn't comfortable with alternative birth control pills. I didn't really know what I was doing. I hadn't found a proper replacement for hormonal birth control pill, and so I wasn't comfortable with that. I was a little bit worried to get pregnant. And two, I was sick and tired of my long and painful periods and heavy periods. I felt like I was getting anemic again, and so I was really desperate to get back on the pill, and so I got a prescription. This time, however, when I went on the pill the second time, it wasn't that easy. The first time when I went on it, I didn't have any kind of weird symptoms. Everything just became so much better for me at the beginning. But the second time I started taking the pill, I had my first period for literally an entire month, and it was horrible because I was moody, very emotionally unstable. I had period cramps for pretty much the whole month. I had really bad acne, and my body was literally in shock and was really unhappy about what I was doing to it. And that's really the first time I had a first-hand experience with how powerful birth control pills really are in our bodies. You know, how much damage they can actually do. And then I kept taking it for a few more months, and as I was taking them, I started getting even more into a healthy lifestyle, and I started following the paleo diet. When I started a healthier diet, and I also gave up all the chemical beauty products in my lifestyle. And the next natural thing, of course, was the birth control pills, because they were the only remaining chemical products in my life, and so I gave them up. But that time things were completely different compared to the first time again, because my periods never went back to regular. They kept being really strange. They were starting really, really slowly, and then they were also ending really slowly, and then in the middle they were super heavy and full of clots. That wasn't like that before when I stopped taking the pills the first time, and I'm still working on it. I inherited some kind of a hormonal imbalance from my mom and my grandma. They had exactly the same problem, so I'm still working on those hormonal imbalances, and my period is still really weird. But I can't help thinking that the pills definitely made this much worse, because when I came off the pills the first time, my periods were normal, heavy but normal and regular, and the second time they weren't. So I gave up the pills the second time because I discovered this amazing, totally natural alternative birth control method, which I'm going to talk about in the next video. And it's all based on awareness, so getting to know your body, getting to know your fertility, and also by communication with your partner. And it's a perfect method that gave me enough push and enough confidence to ditch the pills forever. When I quit the pill, I wish I'd known some things I know now, because I would have used some herbs and some targeted supplements to replenish some of the nutritional deficiencies and to make that rebalancing easier and quicker for myself. But I didn't know, so I did all in a completely natural way without using anything. And so it took me forever, and the process is still ongoing. But after 10 years on the pill, I basically remained with a few major deficiencies, and that's what the pill does, unfortunately. If you watch the first video, you'll know what I mean. I talked about all those deficiencies in that video. But basically, I was lacking vitamin B6 and the whole B complex, really, zinc really badly, also B12 and vitamin C. So I'm still working on replenishing those to this day. It's been 3.5 years since I quit the pill, and I'm still working on rebalancing myself. So before you start taking the pill, please think really well, because it will take you years to get your body back and to get your mind back and to get your sexual desire back. So if I could send a message back to myself when I was a teenager, I would surely tell myself to not ever start taking the pill, to not mess with my body, my fertility, and my hormones, and to start looking for the root cause of my heavy periods and try to solve it rather than be a coward and hide from it until many, many years later. And to any of you watching this video, listen to your intuition. Don't ever listen to the media or the industry, because they have hidden interests. So your body is the boss. And by the way, if you want to see the next video in this series, which is going to be about the birth control method that I use, then don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!